Hey Glow community, I'm your host Giovanna Alexandra and welcome back to The Glow Show. Many of you may know my next guest as an incredible career as an accomplished DJ, producer, engineer, and singer. She's also appeared on shows like American Idol and X Factor. However, she is making a powerful name for her very own nonprofit foundation, Girls Make Beats. We are really excited to speak with Tiffany Miranda, who is the president and founder of Girls Make Beats. How are you?
Thank you for that beautiful intro. I'm doing very well, thank you, and so excited to be here with you today.
It's a pleasure for stopping by today. So the music industry, like many others, still seem to be male-dominated. Can you tell us how we're able to gain more control to do things your way and how other women can do the same within your field of interest?
Absolutely. So I would just love to start the conversation with the fact that women are currently only accounted for 2% of music producers and 3% of audio engineers in the music industry, which is a staggering statistic. And a lot of the work that we do here at the organization is to help to empower young girls at an early age to try to change that narrative. I think it's so important for girls and women to, be more present in these fields because music is so powerful. It, controls how we interact with one another. It influences how we speak, what we wear. Just so much of our everyday lives is, kind of dictated through music. So it's so important for women to get involved more in that creative aspect of it from its initial inception so that we can control the narrative of what's being put out into culture through music.
I agree with you. So I know you've enjoyed working with some of the biggest names in the industry, such as Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, and Fat Joe, to name a few. And you have said often, you were the only woman in the room. What was that like? And also, what were the keys to success to be able to find yourself in this position to work with such heavy hitters like the artist and more?
Yeah, so I was very fortunate to work with, like you said, a lot of great artists. And luckily, in that particular environment with them, they were, very open to having a woman engineer. On my road to that particular position, though, it was extremely challenging. I interned at different recording studios and, was often not given the same opportunities that my male counterparts were given. Even though I was there, I was showing up, I was doing the work. So that interim of trying to make it to that position was very, very challenging. And it's not easy being the only girl in the room. It can be intimidating. Luckily for me, I have big brothers. So I've always been used to being around the boys and the guys and stuff. So for me, I was able to kind of experience it, I think, a little differently. But I know that that's not the same experience for a lot of women and girls. For instance, we ask a question in our interview process for Girls Make Beats. We interview all of the girls. And one of the questions is, why do they feel there's so few women that do these jobs? And we ask girls from ages 7 to 17, all different walks of life. And a lot of them will say that the world gives boys more opportunities. The world thinks that boys are better than girls. And again, that's what we hope to change the narrative of here at the organization. And we liken it also to the fact that, when you think about, and another question we ask the girls is like, if you're at a park and you see a bunch of boys playing basketball, are you going to feel comfortable to say, hey, can I play with you guys? Most of the girls immediately, like their entire body language and everything, they're just like, no way, I'm going to go find my girls and go hang out with them. And then I asked them, well, what if the playing field was a little more even and it was half boys and half girls? Would you feel more comfortable? Most of the girls will say yes. And the second I say, what if it was all girls? They immediately say they would feel comfortable. So there's a whole, I think, psychological aspect of what's going on in society with girls and boys, which is really important to, make note of. And again, that's why we are so passionate about like creating this environment that's all girls and the girls feel really comfortable. And, it's just a really great experience.
I really love that you incorporate all women and empower them to really put their feet out there and stick together. I really, really love that. So I know you founded Girls Make Beats in 2012, which positioned girls at the forefront of music technology. This must have been a hugely rewarding feeling for this shift to happen within the industry. What have been some of the struggles and success to make all of this happen?
Right. So we started very humbly in 2012. And I always say, with one laptop, one DJ controller, one MIDI controller, about 25 girls, and a lot of candy to keep their interest, because it was, again, very limiting due to the fact that we had no funding, but my sister, who actually helped me found the organization, she's also an attorney and has helped with, putting the whole business aspect of it together from its inception. We would do things like go on school tours, we call them. And basically what that consists of is we would do career days for about 11 to 12 schools in Broward County and Miami-Dade County. And we'd be up super early, and we would take the equipment, our one little station, around to all these schools. And, we took pictures and footage and captured it. And then we took that back to the manufacturers that we initially didn't get an answer from. And we showed them what we could do with one. And we said, well, imagine we had an actual classroom full of equipment where these girls have state-of-the-art access to state-of-the-art software and hardware. So luckily, over the years, we've been able to build a lot of relationships with some great industry partners, including a lot of the major music manufacturers. So now the experience is very different. When the girls walk into a classroom, pre-COVID, of course, now they're, using top of the line stuff. And not only are they using top of the line equipment and have their own workstations, but we also have been able to partner with a lot of music industry professionals. So they've been mentored by major record label executives. Just over the summer, we launched a masterclass series. We've had, the co-president of Rock Nation come in and do a workshop with the girls. We've had ASCAP teach them about music publishing. We've had recording artists like Janelle Monáe, Tinashe, Chloe and Halle interact with the girls and give them advice. So it's a very different experience, and it definitely took some time to get there. And it was, again, not the easiest road, but it's something that, I personally know what it's like to be a girl that makes beats. And I know how challenging and how hard it can be to try to make it in a male-dominated industry. So I personally put all of my passion into it. And we also have a great team of women, Stitches, who actually made the connection here. She's our Miami chapter leader. She's been with us on the grind also from very early on, and helping to make a lot of cool opportunities happen for the girls. And then we have Miss Tabor. She is our LA chapter leader, and she also is really passionate about helping to grow opportunities for the girls. So, it's, again, been a long road, but one that, we believe in wholeheartedly, and a lot of great opportunities are starting to blossom because of it.
And it always pushes and it shows, and I'm sure you tell the girls this, never give up and just keep pushing. And you telling this story to everyone, they can relate, like, I've worked so hard, when is that time gonna happen? Just keep going and keep pushing, right?
Definitely a huge testament to my story. I started very early on at age 15 singing, and just realized quickly how male dominated the industry was. And I, at the time, was learning how to sing jazz. I fell in love with like Billie Holiday and Nina Simone and Etta James. And I had like a 20-piece band I was performing with in high school. And when I would go to the studio and try to, experiment with my voice and things like that, it was just, completely shut down. Any creative input I had didn't matter. It was just like, no, you need to be singing this, doing this, dressing like this. And it really just changed my perspective on, how women and girls are viewed in the industry, and is why I took an interest in production. And then when I started making my own beats, I noticed it didn't quite sound like what I heard on the radio. It wasn't the same quality. So that piqued my interest in engineering. And I eventually got my audio engineering certificate in Pro Tools. And that definitely helped. And, along my entire journey, I've been, creating this space for girls, and any opportunities that I've had in my career, I open those doors for the girls. And it's just a movement that needs to be made, for sure.
I love that. I love that. So I know you've been a keynote speaker and panelist for many events with focusing on female empowerment and diversity and inclusion. How would you summarize your message, and is it something that remains the same throughout events to events?
Well, as you mentioned, a lot of what I am very passionate about is female empowerment, diversity, inclusion. It's at the core at everything that we do at the organization. And, it's something that I'm a huge advocate for, is making sure that women see other women, such as myself and the young girls and the generations that we're raising, standing up and being powerful and confident and, running their respective fields. So again, I'm a huge advocate for all of those things.
Women empowerment, and we need to do more of that, because it's like nowadays we need to let the women know that we need to stick together to grow instead of going against each other. I feel like that's a big key in being successful, is empowering other women. So I totally agree with you. And you've mentioned you've already mentored hundreds of girls globally and continue to break a glass barrier for women and young women. What do you see your next stage for Girls Make Beats movement, and how would you be able to get involved if someone was interested in getting involved in your organization?
So our next movement is really a global movement. We've been really fortunate to partner with a very major music entity that we can't disclose just yet, but it'll be made public soon. But it's going to enable us to roll out our clubs model, our Girls Make Beats clubs model, where we will be working with various schools throughout the nation, and girls can create their own student leadership based clubs right in their schools, which is super exciting because, it gives us so much opportunity for expansion. And then towards the end of this year, we have several international activations that we're working on, including Nigeria, UK, and Montreal. So super excited for all of those things. And for those that are interested in getting involved, we have various ways in which you can get involved with the organization. If you're interested in being a student or a member, we have a registration page. It's girlsmakebeats.org/register. We also have volunteer opportunities. Right now, that landscape looks a little different due to the fact that we're, not live in person, but there still is the need for some volunteerism. And that's also on our website, girlsmakebeats.org/volunteer. And for those who just want to support what we're doing and want to continue our programs, again, our program is a nonprofit organization. I'd say about 95% of our programs have been scholarship based. So it's absolutely free for the girls. And they're getting all of these amazing experiences, like, access to mentors and music industry professionals. We do field trips, live performances. And for us, we're still a fairly small organization. So any support that, anybody would like to help contribute, they can do so by going to girlsmakebeats.org/donate.
I'm so excited for you, and I'm excited to see your future in this and to catch up with you again, hopefully. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Can you please tell our viewers where they can keep up with you on social media, and also your personal social media if they would like to reach out to you?
Absolutely. So for Girls Make Beats, on pretty much every social platform, we're at Girls Make Beats. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. And then for me personally, mine is a little long. It's Tiffany, Delilah, Miranda on Instagram.
Well, there you have it. Thank you guys so much for joining us on another episode of The Glow Show. Until next time, stick together, one love.